So you want to nail your middle splits, and not only nail it, but you want to get comfortable in the position to where you can bring strength and activation to your muscles while in this position. This is the video for you. So as always, when I'm at the gym and I'm warming up for my middle splits, I actually recommend doing this as your workout warm-up. It's a great win-win, but I usually come into horse pose first. So widen out your feet a little bit, point your toes in line with your knees. That's the main thing I want you to keep in mind when you do most of these movements. So right away, I'm bringing my knees over my heels, maybe bring your hands down for support. Just rock left and right. And maybe this is too wide, maybe you gotta be a little bit closer, and that's totally fine. Wherever you are, just start there, keep your knees in line with your toes, and just give a little rock left and right. So from here, I want you to feel your hamstrings engage. So pull your heels towards one another, and if you can, take your hands off your knees. Still rocking left and right. If you can go a little bit wider, widen it out. Making the knees right over the heels. It's usually the sweet spot. And this will get you warm. So once you feel good here, and again, you can always have your hands down here, do some pulsations. Just some small pulsations. And right away, you might not notice or you might notice your knees falling inward. You really want to engage your gluteus maximus. Keep your knees out. Keep sending your knees to the back of the room. And we do these pulsations right here. Let's do about 10 together. If you can do them without hands, that's great. So this is going to warm up all those muscles, especially the pelvic floor right underneath, that you need for your splits. So we got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Point your toes a little bit inward. Find a forward fold. Shake it out. Shake the head, yes, no. Maybe bring your feet even closer. Do a little ragdoll action. Just give the legs a little break. Find one big breath here in through the nose. Then exhale out the mouth. Wonderful. From here, your feet are about 2 feet apart. Let's sit down into our low squat. So from here, bring your hands to the center of your heart. Lift your chest up and do little rocks here. So you might notice the same little theme we got going on here. Pointing the heels towards one another. Bring activation here to where you're lifting up a little bit. You're engaging those under muscles. And if you can, bring your feet a little bit further apart. And now it makes it a little bit more intense. Still rocking left and right if that feels good. The knees are going in line with the toe. And you can do whatever you need. You can have your elbows on your knees here if needed. But if you're able to, hands on our center right here, or just relaxed. Swaying left and right. This feels good, huh? For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Lift the hips up. Widen out the feet. So we're going to point the toes outward this time. A 45-degree angle or so. Let's drop down to the left knee first. Engage the right foot on the other side. So a little side lunge. So right here, don't go past your 70%. I should have said that at the beginning. Always respect your 70% and don't pass it. We're trying to play and activate our muscles within a range that's comfortable for us. So your happy sweet spot to where you feel a little bit of pain, like not pain, but you feel your strain, but it's a comfortable and healthy strain. So right here, maybe you're right here, and maybe some of you are on your tippy toes. That is totally fine. What we want to do is we want to bring activation underneath this right side. So from here, lifting up barely and down. Lifting up and down. I'm pressing that heel into the ground, engaging everything on the other side of this right leg, coming up. So if you're on your heel, and if you can, bring your hands up. We want this to be our goal. Dropping the right hip down, lifting up, down, lifting up. So whatever variation you find, you just want to work this, actively work this in your 70% range. So we'll do 5, 4, 3, nice little pulsations. Last one. Wonderful. Switching over to the right side. Wherever you were on the left side, come to the same thing on the right side. So if you're on the toes, you're on the toes. If you're using support with your hands, use support. Whatever feels best. So we're dropping the hip down to 70%, lift it up. Drop it down, lifting up. So you might notice this leg, you can point the toe, you flex the foot. I like flexing the feet, me personally, but it's all personal preference. It helps bring activation to the leg, it helps keep the front side of the knee safe and all parts of the knee safe. And even engaging the quad can help protect your hamstring. It's a nice antagonist muscle. So we've got a few more here. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Coming back to the left side. Just doing 3 pulsations this time. You might go a little bit lower. Lifting up and down. So it's like your half split. And after you get 3, let's go to the right. 3 more pulsations here. Lifting up and down. Just finding that engagement feels comfortable for you. Wonderful. Now we're going to go side to side. So left side, come down. Engage that right foot. Right side. Come down, engage the left foot. Let's do 2 more of these side to side. And as you do it, keep activation in the hamstrings, the pelvic floor, the groins, all the above. Wonderful. Last one. Wonderful. Actually, we'll do one more. For those of you, try it without your hands. It makes you stay active. So that's very advanced. Maybe not today, but one day as you keep doing this flow, you'll find it. So let's come up to the center, squeeze the feet in a little bit, come back into a forward fold, ragdoll it out, shake out the head, shake out the chest. Wonderful. Let's do a quick vinyasa just to get the body opened up. Inhale, come into a halfway lift. Exhale, lower down, step the feet back into a chaturanga, low push-up. Inhaling up dog. Let's pause here for a breath. Shake out the hips, the front side of the hips. Wonderful. On your next exhale, send it back into child pose. Let's rock left and right here. So from here, just giving a little massage to the hips, a little break. Wonderful. So the next one's going to be frog pose. I'm going to give you this little view right here. So from that child pose, come up into your tabletop and widen out your knees. So come to where you have to stop. My hips are in between my knees. And instead of letting your feet fall inward like so, keep a nice right angle with your shin and your leg. So once you're here in your 70% range, I want you to squeeze the knees together slightly. Find engagement and then let them go. Squeeze together, let them go. If you want, you can come onto your elbows. Maybe you can widen out a little bit more, that 70 range. And then you can also go front and back. Front to back. So if this ever hurts your knees, like it doesn't really hurt me. I'm used to being on my knees in jiu-jitsu and whatnot. But you can always bring rags or a towel, depends on where you're at, or just get creative with this. If you have really sensitive knees, maybe you just skip this in general. But from here, find the still pose. Squeeze the knees down to the ground. Bring the activation to the front side of the groin. Let's hold us here for a breath. Big inhale. And exhale. Wonderful. Keep that engagement. Work up onto the hands. Feeling the belly button drop forward. Keeping the squeeze. So flexibility is an activity. It's an activity. Like it's not a passive thing if you're trying to do it the right way, in my opinion. So slowly come out of this, squeezing the feet together, bringing the knees together. Come back into that child pose that we were at. Give it a little wiggle. We're going to come into our final stop where we're really going to see like where your middle splits are at. So let's go ahead and roll forward. Big inhale, come into your up dog. Exhale, send the hips back and up to your down dog. So pedal it out here. First down dog of the day. It's really your hamstrings stretching out the most and decompressing the back. But for middle splits, it's all about the insides of the legs, the groins and pelvic floor. Shake out the chest. One last breath here. Wonderful. Step that left foot in between the hands and walk your hands back to the camera to where you can face towards me. Whatever that looks like to you. So this is where we're going to end. We're going to point the toes outward right here. Bring the feet out enough to where you feel a little stretch, but not too much. And I'm going to squeeze my feet together. And I'm going to do small little leans left and right. So see a little bend to my knees. I'm constantly engaging my hamstring the whole time. And if you can, point your feet like almost directly out. So it's like that horse pose we did at the beginning, but instead of standing up, we're a little bit down here, mixing the frog pose with horse pose. And just do little lean side to side like this. Keeping the hamstring engaged. So this is called nerve flossing. Because usually what's going to stop you is your nerves underneath your knee. It's not going to be really your hamstring or groin area. It's the little things that catch you. So wonderful. Bring the legs straight again, point the toes straight forward. Now we're in a pretty normal wide-legged stance, and maybe you're not as low as me right now. So maybe you're up here, and that's completely fine. We're squeezing the feet together to where you could stand up like this. So find your 70% range, wherever that may be right now. Squeeze, and we're just gonna do a couple cat-cow. So inhale, drop the belly button forward, reach the chest forward, and then exhale, curl at the back. Inhale, let's do a couple more of those. Keeping the engagement in the groins. Exhale, curl. Last one, inhale. And exhale. So what you'll do here, now that we're warmed up in most areas, you just go a little bit lower until your body stops you. So I like to externally rotate my legs, point my toes up, like so. And we're gonna do small little reps. So down and up, down and up. Let it lower down, squeeze your legs up. And I could show you the variation. I got some socks over there, but if you have a nice smooth floor, just pull your heels up and you do nice reps with this. But if you're in a static, kind of sticky floor, you got shoes on or you're at the gym, it's okay, you can do these small pulsations. And then in time, you notice I'm going lower and lower and lower. I might be at my 60% right now, but that would depend. So maybe if you do this video more and more and more, maybe the 12th or 30th time you do this video, you'll be down here. So once you get down here, we're using our hands. Maybe bring your hands behind you. So however wide you are, just sit down, smooth as possible. Bring your hands behind you, and you can do pulsations here. So lifting up like so. And again, I'm pressing my heels down to lift this inside up. I'm using my hands to help. The first, it's just hard. It's just, there's no way to get around it. It's hard stuff. So in time, you'll be able to maybe use blocks at first or closer to your hands to where you can get your hips more in between your heels, doing the same thing, pressing it up, using it as if we were trying to stand up by bringing your legs together. So in time, you bring your hands in front of you. This is the hardest one. And then do the same thing. So it's like little tricep dips, but you're using your inner groin, all those muscles on the underside, underneath the legs. Sorry, a little tongue twister right there. You're just going up and down, pulsating, keeping tension the whole time on those muscles. So in time, maybe you'll be able to do this solo without your hands. And it's taken me about 8 months to work towards this. Let's do 5 more together. Wherever you're at, just keeping a good squeeze. This is a workout, I'm starting to sweat now. Awesome. Last one, bringing the feet together into a little butterfly pose, like so. Hands behind you. Widen out your knees as much as you can. Activate those same muscles that we were in the first pose. And we're lifting up here. Lift the hips up, down. This will be our little cool down, because it's a nice active stretch, but it's not too much weight bearing. Wonderful. A few more reps here. Awesome. And then we're going to end with some 90-90s. So little windshield wipers. So bring your feet, open up like so, a little 90-degree angle with the hips. We're going to drop the knees to the left and then to the right. Go both sides, about 3 more times each. This is going to lubricate your hip joints. Remember, they're ball and socket joints. Our hips go in all directions. So we were just mostly going, obviously middle split variation. So just to even it out, do some of these at the end of every little split exercise. And in time, these will all get easier. So maybe you can do this without hands. Maybe do a little lean. All depends on where you're at. But this is a nice finisher, evening everything out, massaging all the fascia around those ball and socket joints. Ah, wonderful. Feels good. And if you want to end with, one little static hold, come back into your low yogi squat, drop the hips down, and notice the difference here. So maybe you can chill much more easy. Maybe you can bring, more activation to the undersides of the legs. So I hope that felt good, and I hope to see you again as you do this video more than more. Whether you do it for your warm-up for your gym workout, that's where I usually do it. It's the best win-win because look, I'm a little sweaty right now, and it just gets your whole body warmed up. So it gets you your flexibility, and it gets you, more skills as you do your, don't just go through the motions warming up for your workout at the gym or wherever you're doing, CrossFit, whatever that may be for you. So hope this helps. Hope to see you again. Until next time, namaste.